Welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. Today's video is going to be absolutely bonkers, you guys. So 3 months ago, when there were still so many people in denial about the housing market turning into a buyer's market because of how low inventory is, I have been saying that unaffordability is going to be the biggest factor at turning our housing market from a seller's back into a buyer's market. Despite historically low inventory, unaffordability, if people can't buy houses, it doesn't matter how much inventory that is out there because they're not going to buy it, right? Plus, on top of that, there was very little selection. But not only that, guys, there is an absolute bloodbath right now in the stock market. So not only are things a lot more unaffordable, people have lost a lot of money in the stock market. Not only that, with a potential recession looming right around the corner, possibly in right now, job loss is going to start creeping up, making it even more unaffordable to own a home. So what we're going to do today, guys, is we're going to unpack an article from Market Watch titled "Home Affordability Has Collapsed in 2022. What to Expect Next According to Bank of America." Now, remember, you guys, Redfin has said mortgage payments have gone up year over year 43%. And Zillow has said over 50% at 52%. So from 1 year, homes are 40 to 50% higher in just 1 year. That is absolutely ludicrous, you guys. Wage growth is what, 5% or less, right? You're going to have to get a second job, I'm telling you guys. But regardless, you guys know I'm not your financial advisor. My bio is as a realtor, loan officer, and instructor in real estate in Texas. So I love real estate. I love everything about real estate. Traditionally, real estate is an absolutely great investment, except I don't think it is right now. And if you guys can understand, this is just my YouTube channel, and please like this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And as always, please comment. I learn so much from you guys. But let's jump into this article from Blvd because they bring out some good points. And I think you guys are going to be surprised that despite the data that they're referencing, despite the doom and gloom per se, they still expect the housing market to appreciate. Bank of America still thinks in 2023, houses are going to go up 5%. In 2022, 15%. It's absolutely crazy that they still think that. But let's read this article right now. The double whammy of surging mortgage rates and skyrocketing home prices has led to collapsed housing affordability in America. The situation has gotten so bad that it now compares to the historically low affordability readings in the fourth quarter of 1987, you guys, 1987, and the first quarter of 2005, according to the Blvd team. That's super scary. Notably, those years coincide with Black Monday, the stock market crash of 1987, when the Dow Jones and tumbled about 22.6% in a single trading session. So what it's saying is it dropped 22% in a single day, which is outrageous, you guys. And the start of the subprime crisis as home prices roared higher from 2000 to 2004 and hit a multi-year high in 2006. Existing home sales tumbled 33% in the wake of the 1987 crash and 45% in the aftermath of the subprime mortgage debacle. In this cycle, we think a 35% peak to through existing home sales decline is plausible. So they're saying home sales may decline 35%. And yet they're still saying home value is going to go up. This makes no sense. Let's keep reading. After home prices shot up a record 20.6% annually in March, the team thinks that the rate of growth probably is at or near the peak of this cycle, the team wrote, considering that a chunk of the appreciation likely stems from historically low mortgage rates that have since vanished. Exactly, you guys. The reason for this market is it's artificially created. We all know that. It continues. The cost of a 30-year fixed rate mortgage nearly doubled to about 5.25% in May from 2.75 last winter. The move higher came as the Federal Reserve began fleshing out plans to raise interest rates and trim its nearly $9 trillion balance sheet in a bid to tackle inflation that recently hit a near 40-year high. So most unaffordable since Q4 of 1987 and Q1 of 2005. Are you serious right now? You guys, that is absolutely alarming, right? This has all happened so quickly. So what's going to happen next, you guys? I don't think that we're going to see that. I don't think we've seen anything like what's about to happen. I mean, we've never seen anything like what we're currently in right now, right? This is some very scary stuff. So here's the thing, guys. Once we have data that shows negative equity growth all over the place, and it hits mainstream media, this is going to spiral out of control once it hits that mainstream, once all of the doom and gloom is all over the television. Because what the news usually lacks to do is proper preparation, right? They usually just talk about the bad things without any solution. So I hope I'm giving you guys solution, but this is absolutely insane, you guys. Now remember this, back in 2008, the Federal Reserve, when the 2008 subprime collapse and recession happened, remember, the Federal Reserve could do quantitative easing. Fast forward to today, remember, you guys, they can't do that anymore. The reason why we're in this situation is because there was too much quantitative easing. So remember, soft landing per se, 2008, quantitative easing. Fast forward to 2022, there is no more quantitative easing, you guys. So what's going to happen? The Federal Reserve's got to let it go, right? The Federal Reserve triggered this recession because they had to. So it's going to be really interesting to see how much the housing market falls apart and how unaffordable it actually gets. Let's continue reading the article right now. While home prices have continued to climb this year, household wealth tied up in stock and bonds has suffered, with the S&P 500 index off some 14% from its January 3rd closing high, and the Nasdaq down nearly 24% below its peak. However, even in a somewhat draconian scenario where the demand side for housing is meaningfully altered by reduced affordability, the supply side remains exceptionally supportive for home price appreciation. Why blame the subprime mortgage mess and decades of underbuilding? The catalyst led to record low of existing homes, which will continue to normalize. So BofA, the housing market can't go down. There's not enough supply. That's absolutely crazy. But what I like that this article touched on is the fact that there's an absolute bloodbath in the stock market right now. So a lot of Americans that had a lot of money saved or even money saved for a down payment no longer have that money because their 401ks and their savings and their investing money that was in the stock market is absolutely getting destroyed. I myself have lost 55%, $30,000 roughly in my portfolio. So there's a lot of people that not only cannot afford a house, but a lot of people no longer even have the money to close on a house because you have to have a down payment, right? You have to pay for closing costs, and then you should have savings left over. People are getting absolutely gutted, y'all, because of the stock market. And that's probably only going to get worse. So unaffordability, people are losing money like left and right that are investing in the stock market. This is absolutely insane, you guys. Let's finish out this article right now. Home supply was tight before the pandemic made it worse, as many families looked for bigger houses outside of big cities to adapt to remote work. That remains a key in BofA's forecast for home prices to climb. Listen to this, to climb 15% for 2022 and 5% for 2023. Shelter is still scarce, and residential real estate is still a good inflation hedge. To the extent that there is any distress in housing and forced sellers emerge, we think owner-occupied and non-owner-occupied buyers will be there to at least partially absorb the sales, they said. Okay, guys. So because there's not enough inventory, they're saying, BofA is saying 2022 up 15%, 2023 up 5%. The reason? Not enough supply, right? Have you heard so many people say this? I want you guys to do me a favor. Comment below. Let me know if you agree with Bank of America, if you think that in 2023, home prices on average are going to go up 5%, because I absolutely don't agree with that. I think they should stick to the bad data and kind of draw a conclusion from there and actually recognize where the trends are headed. Now, I want to conclude this video with some overall points, you guys, that I've actually thought of from reading this, okay? So overall, here's what I'm thinking. It is still unbelievable to me that these massive companies are underappreciating the data. There is so much bad data. I mean, unaffordable since Q4 of 1987. Are you serious? Yet they're still citing with optimism, right? There's a time to be optimistic and there's a time to sound the alarm. It is absolutely shocking to me that so many of these companies refuse to sound the alarm. They stay overly optimistic instead of giving warnings. We need to warn as much people as possible, not to scare them, but so that we can prepare and so that we could win, right? Do y'all agree with me? Comment below. Let me know if you agree with me. I mean, this is absolutely crazy. Okay. I want you guys to comment on BFA and why you think that people are being overly optimistic when we have so much data now that is actually contrary to being optimistic. Unless you're like me, sitting on the outside, right? I think there's a lot of buyers sitting on the outside, but I don't think there's as many as people think, right? Because you have to be well qualified, great credit, lot, money down, almost no consumer debt, right? How many people are like that? I know a lot of people are on YouTube like that. YouTube is about self-empowerment. People go to YouTube to empower. That's why I believe people that watch YouTube are, this is crazy to say, but are generally in a better situation. It is what it is. I find it absolutely astonishing, you guys. But other than that, I really appreciate you watching this video. Please comment below. Let me know your thoughts. Now, as always, you guys, if you're out there investing in real estate, I do wish you luck and I hope you win.